It's the SKOR North Twins Show.
Baseball.
The red hot SKOR North Twins Show, where our guy Trevor Plouffe joins us every Tuesday. And I have a question. First pitch fastball right to Trevor Plouffe here. Who's hotter right now? The Twins or the June-July run of Trevor Plouffe in 2012? Who's hotter right now?
No one will ever be as hot as that. I was in my physical prime, feeling really good. So much testosterone coursing through my veins, man.
Dude, that run, 40 game run, 40 game run.
Yeah.
325, 382, 649, 1,000 OPS, 14 home runs in 40 games. Not a bad little run there.
It's actually kind of very similar what the Twins are doing than what I did, because Judd was ready to throw me out of town. He was ready to bury me. And then all of a sudden I go on this run, and then I remember him being in my locker being like, hey, you're such a good player. Can't wait for you to be around forever, man.
You are the new, 20 years here. That's what I see now, 20 years.
Hello, let me introduce myself. Judd Zulgad, noted sports writer in town. Hello. Yeah, sir. I'm making eye contact with you for the first time. You're worthy.
Any quote at all. Give me the scoop. What's the scoop?
Good Lord.
How are you doing? And I was like, I don't know.
Just like, I'm going out. See you later. Bye.
Right. I'm full of testosterone.
Yeah.
That's
right. I'm going to the loon. Bye.
Great babe shots for Judd. Hey, a lot of fun things to talk with Trevor Plouffe here. Hit the like button and subscribe button here, though, on the Twin Show YouTube channel. Before we get into things, it is riding season, though. Got some hot weather here in Minnesota. It's 90 degrees. We're setting records in the Twin Cities. Where should they go for motorcycle parts and accessories, Phil?
I'm really glad you asked that question, Declan, and I have just the answer. Dennis Kirk and DennisKirk.com. 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories for motorcycles, ATVs, UTVs, dirt bikes, all of your favorite riding season toys. Also coming up on Saturday, June 7th at Running Aces Casino, it's the second annual Minnesota Garage Build Bike Show powered by Dennis Kirk. So if you've been tinkering with your own build and you've been making something in your garage that you'd like to show off to the world, you can do that at the Minnesota Garage Build Bike Show, June 7th at Running Aces. Find out more at DennisKirk.com.
Baseball. All right, Trev, 8 in a row for the Twins. They're now 21-20. They're over 500. At the beginning of the season, we were trying to figure out, hey, what's this team's identity? Like, what are they exceptionally good at? And obviously, over the last 8 games, the pitching, starting pitching especially, has been phenomenal. But we're also finally seeing now, over, I think, a decent enough sample size, the outfield defense. I mean, having a Gold Glove center fielder and having another Gold Glove center fielder playing the left field side. Like the offense, they had some clutch hitting over the course, but it feels like the starting pitching and the defense is something that maybe we can say this is the Twins' identity for success in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the season, the computer models had the Twins pitching staff being one of the best in the big leagues. And admittedly, I always kind of question the starters that we have in the rotation. And maybe I'm just wrong about it, but I always say, man, we really need like a true ace. And maybe we don't have that. Maybe we don't, but we got, I would say, like 3 dudes at least right now, and Ryan, Ober, and Pablo, who can be aces, or have shown potential to be that. And if anything, they're like exceptional number 2 starters in the league. So we're getting that done. The bullpen in May has also been great. So yes, run prevention has been part of the winning streak. I mean, you talk about the outfield defense. I think teams that are smart understand we need some outfield defense. But the difference between the Twins and other teams that are playing good outfield defense is those 2 guys you're talking about, Bader and Buxton, are also mashing the ball. So you're talking about elite skill right there, because you usually don't get both of those things in one player, let alone having 2 guys do it. So things are looking up, man. I love the series against the Giants. The Giants are a really good team that have a lot of different ways to beat you. And the ways the Twins won those games they're awesome. I mean, Paddock with his start, great to see. So you get that game. Then you have Joe Ryan out-dueling Logan Webb, who's one of the best, a perennial Cy Young candidate in the NL, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. You have that going on. You have Christian Vasquez and Royce picking a guy off, Elliot Ramos at third base off in that game, which, saved the game, run on third base, less than 2 outs. Actually, DM'd Royce. I said, who put that on? And he said they both just kind of looked at each other. They noticed he was getting off. There was a lefty at bat, and they kind of just looked and nodded. And the next pitch, up and away pitch, and they got him. And then on Sunday, to come back and win that game in extras is, they've just kind of been doing it in all different facets. And I like that it hasn't just been against the Angels and the White Sox like it was last year. Yes, they've beaten the Orioles, who are down bad, but the sweep against the Giants, I think, is a very telling series. The Twins are not just feasting on bad teams. This is a very good team that they swept over the weekend.
So I feel like the roller coaster of this show here, these Tuesday episodes, has gone from before the season. We all kind of agreed, I don't know if it's, like a World Series team, but they've got some really interesting pieces and their bullpen should be solid. And, Buxton healthy, this is like a 90-win team that could do some damage and maybe you win the division. And then immediately they start 0-4 or whatever it was. And then there's 8 games under 500 after 22 games. And we're talking about, to steal a phrase from Trevor, slapdick prospects, and we should fire sale. Okay, now they're back over 500 halfway through May. So how has this winning streak impacted your view of what this thing could look like in September, October?
So I still don't know where you add on this team necessarily. What are you going to go get that's feasible, that makes sense, that it can actually happen, then what's going to help your team? I don't really know where you put somebody, right? I feel like they have their team. This is going to be their team. It would really shock me if there was a major addition to this team. So what's changed? I think they've just started to play how we've expected them to play. Not, you don't ever count on 8-game winning streaks necessarily, but we've seen, we're all happy that Buxton's playing every single day. I think that's honestly the biggest thing, regardless if he's the way he's hitting or even he's doing everything exceptionally well, stealing bases, defense has all been great. Just having him in the lineup every single day, I think, changes the attitude of that clubhouse. This is our guy and he's out there playing, and we feel pretty healthy as a team. So I think my initial thoughts on the Twins going into the season, they've caught back up to that, where I think they're going to be contenders in the AL Central. I think they have a chance, if they don't win that, to be a wild card team in this AL that's not very good. And then it's, what happens in a 3, 5, 7 game series. Anything can happen. They can go on runs. They do have the talent to do it. Do I put them in the upper echelon of Major League Baseball right now? I do not. But I think they can be a playoff team, and then kind of who knows.
I think the potential here, Coach Trev, is this when you talk about additions potentially, and I agree completely. I don't think that they're going to make a substantial one, but the left side of the infield still, right, as far as the bats have not picked up yet. So, I fully expect that Royce is going to go back to being Royce. He's missed a lot of time again. If he can stay, like Buxton is, healthy, I think he's going to be fine. And there's certainly going to be an uptick with his bat. I guess the question is, when is Correa going to get completely turned around? But if you get both of those things, now you're cooking, because the nice thing is they've won 8 consecutive games, and Correa and Royce especially, has come back but still scuffled. So that is what I would say would be the most encouraging potential thing, is that those 2 bats, if they get going, are going to really solidify your lineup.
Yeah, honestly, when I looked at them coming into the season, I said this can be a long lineup. There's professional hitters in here that have done it at the big league level. I will counter what you're saying. I don't think Harrison Bader is going to hit this well all season long, so he might hit a little skid, and then maybe those guys pick up the slack there. The more and more I think about it now, with the way the team's playing, doesn't it bum you out that Matt Wallner's not here?
Yeah.
We're getting everybody back. Okay, Correa, Royce, and Buxton are all playing together. But I add Wallner to that group now because of what he can do with the bat. We don't have a timetable yet, do we, with him? Do we?
No, he basically has not the same, but pretty dang similar hamstring injury that Royce is fighting through. And even it feels like with Royce, like with his timing still kind of not being exactly there and not having, all the at-bats after being off for 6 or 7 weeks. I don't even know if Royce is like still 100%, but he's comfortable enough where he feels he can swing a bat and be active, and that timing will eventually come. But with Wallner, I think we're probably into June by the time we see him.
Well, hey, just get healthy, right? And then we get health is such a huge thing for this team, obviously. But Royce, watching him hit, I don't think it's coming. I don't see any signs that it's coming anytime soon. Obviously, he gets the knock. What was that in Sunday's game? Got the knock in the 6th.
2 knocks. Yeah.
2 knocks. The legs aren't there for me yet, and I don't know if that is a health thing. Like, he's just not in his legs. He's reaching for balls. Like, he doesn't have that steady, like a good base. Like, when you see him when he's really raking, like he takes that first step and then kind of gets like his load is already preset. Like, it looks more sturdy. Right now it does not look sturdy. And I was texting Morney about that. I said, dude, like Royce needs to get in his legs. Like, somehow, like, he's got to figure that out. And Morney gave me one of the best old school ball player responses. He goes, "It's amazing how you've actually played the game watching a guy swing, and you can tell he doesn't have his legs underneath him. You don't need pressure plates or anything else to tell us what our eyes can see." I'm like, hell yeah, Morney. Hell yeah,
get off my lawn,
Pressure
baseball.
Screw your pressure plates and your iPads. I see it. But it's true. He just needs to figure out some way. And sometimes that's not even like a health thing. It could just be your mechanics. You're not noticing it, and you're standing a little more straight up, and you don't have enough like feel into the ground. Like, he needs to get that back. And if he does that, then, look out, this team could go.
Yeah. It probably is even more of, cause I had a conversation with him on Sunday about like, all right, you hadn't played in actual, baseball games for 6 weeks, and he goes to AAA, and I don't know how much you've been following the St. Paul Saints season, Trev, but they get a rain out like every other day. Like, they've had 9 double headers already this season, which is insane. And then just, let's be honest, AAA pitching up to big league pitching, guys that are having movement and command on pitches that you just haven't seen. Like, even though Royce, I think, despite the injuries he's had in his career, he's had more examples of when he's been healthy, he rakes at the plate. So it's one thing, I think, not to have his legs under him, which is a big thing. But I think that adjustment and timing too, working against him, I think that catches up, and I think Royce is able to get there. But as of right now, I don't think he's 100% there, but I do think he gets there.
Yeah, and that can lead to that. If you're obviously out of if your timing isn't there, you haven't seen a lot of pitching, everything starts to speed up on you. You're not like letting the ball travel because you want to go out and get it. And I think that's kind of what it looks like to me. And you just have to really tell yourself, like, okay, like I gotta let the ball travel, especially in today's game with the late movement and the way that, guys can invent pitches on a whim. You really have to have that extra, what's the word I'm looking for? Recognition phase, and he doesn't really have that right now.
Yeah. Do you always hold a baseball like throughout the day? Are you just like around your house, hanging out with the family, just holding the baseball?
I do like ball. I do like a ball, like always kind of around me. Sometimes it's a football, but no, I'm in my studio now. I got all sorts of stuff back here.
You got a bat? Yeah, we saw the bat last week. Oh, that's
anything
a nice
you want, man.
That's
I used to have my glove I brought inside. I used to have one out here too.
That's very nice. Very nice. Hey, I got a Buxton question. Since you do text and talk with guys a lot, and you played, how good do you guys feel for Buxton? The fact that the guy can just finally, and knock on wood, of course, but
you're totally jinxing it right now.
I don't mean to jinx it, but it's a great story. But it's a great story. Like, they finally have just said, you know what, go and play. No kid gloves. He is as healthy as he's probably going to be. I'm sure there's still aches and pains. There always will be. But just like when you text with guys, or just from your perspective of having watched this guy who came up as such a stud prospect and has shown flashes before, but it's always something. How good does it make you feel to see him just be able to, good day or not, play on a daily basis?
It's great because, well, for 2 reasons. One, he's a phenomenal person. Like, he's just he's a good dude, man. And like his attitude for the most part is pretty even keel. Like, we see him get fired up and stuff, but like throughout the days coming to the clubhouse, like he's doing his work. And I know when you have, and the second reason, when you have that immense talent that he has, to not be able to fully put it on display hurts. Like, he knows what kind of baseball player he is. We all know what kind of baseball player he is. And if one, you're physically not able to do that, or your team is telling you, like, don't do it, like, it sucks. Like, we want to see this guy realize his potential. He's done it with spurts at times, but he just, he looks like himself out there. I just read, I think Lehman just put an article out about Bader and Tim, and he mentioned that he has the second highest average sprint speed in all of baseball right now, only behind Bobby Witt Jr. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like,
this is the kind of player he can be. The pop is there, the speed is there, the defense, like everything. And we all know that. It sucks that we kind of forget from time to time because he hasn't been able to be fully healthy. But now seeing it, some of the quotes that are coming out, man, like Trevor Larnach was talking about, like, he's one of the best players in baseball. Like, you don't just say it. Like, nobody said that about me ever. Like, nobody ever once said this is one of the best players in baseball. That just doesn't get said. That term doesn't get thrown around a lot, except for these elite talents. And it's nice to remember and to see, like, right in front of all of Twins fans' eyes, that Buxton is one of these elite players in baseball.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dex.
I was just thinking about this after Sunday's game, and it was something I wanted to ask you two dudes, and then it's even better that Trev's on right now. If he retired tomorrow, is Byron Buxton a Twins Hall of Famer?
Wow.
Whoa.
I was going back and forth this. I was driving home, talking to myself like I do as the psychopath that I am. And I was trying to think, like, all right, he was the number 2 overall pick, pedigree, maybe never lived up to his, like, actual prospect status because of injuries, but also a really good player on the field, really well respected and loved. If he were to hang it up for whatever reason after this season or tomorrow, would he be in the Twins Hall of Fame? And I think I lean yes.
Well, it's funny because, like, the voting it's kind of split between local media.
What is the voting?
I've had a vote for most, depending on if they have my updated address, like most of the last 15 years.
Every year I vote. I demanded a vote back.
I don't vote.
Yeah. But there's also people, aren't there people, like, in the organization, or is it just media? Okay.
No, I think it's people within as well.
But the answer, here's what's crazy. If you were to just, like, do the Baseball Reference box score hunting thing with Buxton with no other context, you'd be like, all right, he's been a Twin for a long time, but he's only made one All-Star game. Shockingly, he's only won 1 Gold Glove in his career.
Platinum, though.
Right. And I'm just doing the 30,000 foot thing here. But we know, being in it for 10 or 11 years of his career, how great of a player he is, that obviously if he were able to stay on the field for 120 or 130 games, he is unquestionably the best defensive center fielder of the last generation in baseball. So there's like a parallel universe where he's a Hall of Famer, an actual Hall of Famer, not a Twins Hall of Famer. But obviously we're not going to be able to see that play. Just like, what's crazy is there's a parallel universe for Joe Mauer's career too. The first track got him first ballot Hall of Fame status, but there's like another universe where Joe Mauer is one of the 25 best players to ever play the game with his talent. Maybe people think I'm crazy saying that, but his talent, what he showed when he was healthy, and then as he got older, just physical issues. When you're a 6'4" catcher and back and all these things,
he was on better baseball teams later in his career. That's a huge thing, because for him too, like, motivation wise, like, when you come up and all of a sudden, I'm talking about Mauer here, when you come up and you're just winning division titles in the playoffs, like, it's awesome. And then we hit a skid of 2011 through 2016. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I think we heard Joe Mauer a lot on those teams, man.
Yeah. But isn't that crazy? Like, Joe was a first ballot Hall of Famer, and you look at his career and you're like, man, like, there's more meat on that bone if this, that, and the other wouldn't have taken place. And Buxton's the ultimate case.
What
Buxton
happened?
is
What happens to Joe's career and the discussion about him now if the Twins had playoff success too?
Yeah.
Because like that's the other thing. Like let's say Joe has 2 extended playoff runs. He's really, really good. Like there's a whole thing here. Yeah, that the Twins' lack of playoff success really puts a damper, I think, on a lot of guys.
Agreed.
Yeah, Joe was never on the field for a playoff win. I don't think he was ever on the field for a playoff win.
And that's what takes away from
Hey, I
it.
mean, I was ever on the field for a playoff game. So how about that? That's tough. That hurts my soul every time I think about it.
Does it really still?
It hurt. Oh my gosh, yeah. Because you want to know why? I would have loved to play in the playoffs. I think like I think that now, but there's a lot of guys who like had marginal careers, but like show up in the playoffs that like get celebrated greatly. I wanted to be one of those guys.
Scott Spezio.
I could have been that.
Delman Young, ALCS MVP, baby.
Really cemented himself.
Yeah, Delman
with Detroit, right? Against Baltimore.
And honestly, dude, it's the pinnacle of baseball is Major League Baseball playoffs. And I didn't get to participate, which sucks. Buxton, Twins Hall of Famer, I would say, I guess, I don't know, no right now. But that's okay. Corey Koski's going in this summer, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Didn't get invited. Corey, what's up with that? It's tough for me.
You didn't get invited?
I don't think so.
That's like a 2-day
Doge
drinking
was like,
session.
hey, man, are you going to Koski's thing?
Wait,
I didn't get
Doge got
one.
invited, but you didn't get invited.
Yeah. And me and Koski were tight. Maybe he just forgot, I don't know.
He's a fellow third baseman. That's BS. Come on. Come on, Corey.
I think Dozier's going to be in the Twins Hall of Fame. Is Perkins not in the Twins Hall of Fame?
Not yet, but
he should be in the Twins Hall of Fame. I think Dozier should be in the Twins Hall of Fame. Yeah.
But like Buxton has more longevity in terms of seasons accredited anyways.
Yeah,
than a lot of guys that are in the Twins Hall of Fame.
Record for homers by a second baseman
in a single season, really.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
42.
Yep.
I think with Doge, you look back, he had 4 or 5 crazy offensive seasons, and the ding is a lot of bad teams. And if I remember, what he would do is he would put up like an insane 3 months, and he was one of the streakiest at his
Very
best.
streaky,
He was impossible to get out for like 2.5 months, and then there'd be like 6 weeks where, God, should you like move him down to 8th? What's happening here? And then boom, he'd come back and have another stretch.
Hey, just so you know, because you guys both have votes, I have aspirations to be in the Twins Hall of Fame. Now, obviously, my playing career is not going to warrant it, but if I stick around long enough broadcasting,
yeah,
okay,
right?
Yeah, but here's the problem: we're out on that. That comes totally from the broadcasters, different committee.
Who do
So
I got
don't
to
have
kiss
any
up? I got to
influence
kiss up
on
to
that.
somebody, huh?
Yeah, I tried once and I was rejected there because there are some broadcasters.
You tried to get into the Twins Hall of Fame?
No. There's a guy. There's a legendary announcer when they started in '61 here, Halsey Hall,
yeah.
who had a room named after him in the Metrodome. Okay, he's not even in their Hall of Fame though. It's like you can't name a room. The press conference room in the Metrodome was the Halsey Hall room, and now you don't even stick him in your Hall of Fame. All due respect to Gordo, Gordo's in there.
Wait, so Halsey Hall is not in the Twins Hall of
Yes,
Fame?
and Royce and I have been bitching about this for years because I feel like it's a disservice to the legacy of the broadcasting wing, which I'm very passionate about because I'm a complete geek.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I like it. I didn't know that.
Your media
so
career, keep stacking.
It's not going to happen, but I just like to. I have a goal. Let me have a goal. Okay.
Put it out there. Yeah.
I feel like you need to do a few more games.
I know I don't do enough games. Actually, I just added on 3 more this year, so I'm doing a total of like almost 30 now.
Wow, look at what a bandwagon jumper. Twins win a few games in a row, and Plouffe's like, "Can I get?"
No, they came to me. There's a special thing we're trying to get done. I don't think I'm supposed to talk about it.
Oh, I know what it is. Little players only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Players only.
Yep.
Which I'll tell you right now, I don't think it's going to work. I don't like it, but we'll see.
So, but
I'm being honest.
Is there a designated driver?
Yeah,
of the players only.
Who's the host?
So, from what I've gathered, and I don't even know if I should be talking about this. You guys are going to get me in trouble, but
Well, you
there will
already
be one
shot it
person who
down.
kind of is
Listen,
like doing
man,
the ad
Drew's
reads and
fine.
the
Drew's
in-game stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that I also, Judd, am a big fan of broadcasters, and I think the play-by-play guys are so important, and the job is so hard. And I don't like the Manning cast, and I don't like that to me does not interest me whatsoever. And I know like we're trying to like push that so much, but I think you need somebody like doing play-by-play. But we'll see how it goes. I don't know if a all color game or all analyst game, I guess you'd call it, has been done in the big leagues yet.
Well,
The Braves have done some.
do one.
Yeah.
They've done them.
Smoltz, Chipper Jones, Glavine,
Frank
I think.
Gore.
That Smoltz is such like he's almost like a play-by-play guy though.
Yeah. I think what you're not taking into account though is for those of us who love sports who didn't play well. We appreciate like the discussions that you might not find as intriguing. We do. Okay. So like if you and three guys start to riff on some like minutia of baseball and at bat, like I think speaking for three of us, we love that. Now you know that, so it might be like, oh, okay. But that's the thing. The Manning cast will have occasional like nuggets of things that people like me would never think of.
Okay.
I like that. For me, the Manning cast gets a little part of it is like they're in different locations and then they're guests. There's always a delay. So if you're in different locations, it can be chaotic and they're stepping over each other, or it's like, all right, this guest that they have on now, they clearly had him scheduled for the entire quarter, but it died 15 minutes ago and they're trying to go. But if it's what I love about the Manning cast is when there's 3.5 minutes left and the clock is running and Peyton and Eli are sitting, it's like we're locked into the game and we're going to tell you this is how we would run a 4-minute offense with the game on the line. So you got to look, okay, get up to the line. Okay, I'd have a second play already called in the huddle and you're being guided. Baseball, there's not as much urgency necessarily to break it down like that. But yeah,
I'm excited to try it. Yeah, the one thing I don't like is talking over each other. I think there needs to be a balance of understanding cadence and all those things. That's what I appreciate on a good broadcast, and just kind of understanding your role and knowing when to speak and when not to. I think there'll be some kinks in that, but we'll figure it out. But I understand what you're saying, because I name drop incoming guys. I watched the Super Bowl a couple of years ago with Sean McVay and Stafford. Just like we were just sitting there watching it in the backyard and listening to them talk about the game and all those things. I was like, holy shit. Like, I don't know football that well. So listening to them, I was like, this is fucking awesome. So I guess I could see that.
Yeah.
Not just a name drop, a double name drop.
Two names.
Yeah.
Like you got
double
the
barrel
Super Bowl
action.
quarterback, and oh, by the way, the coach came over too.
He loves to talk. McVay, like he's a high energy guy. So he was just going, man. It was pretty cool. And I do remember him saying that did the Super Bowl go to overtime 2 years ago?
The Eagles and Chiefs did, right?
Yeah, Chiefs,
yeah. The Chiefs.
And he was saying that he would have deferred and not received the ball, and he was just talking me through that, and I was like, what? Because he's like
he would have
interesting.
He would have kicked it off, risked them scoring a touchdown to win the game.
He said, I have confidence in the defense to stop them, and then what you have to do on
offense.
Run your offensive game.
Sean, I know we're all just having a good time watching the Super Bowl on the couch here. I'm going to push back at you a little bit, Sean, because if they score a touchdown,
that's what I said.
All due respect, Sean.
That is super interesting, though, to be honest.
Yeah, it was an interesting conversation, and I was, maybe a little buzzed, so I don't remember all of the intricacies of the conversation, but it was fascinating. So I guess I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, shout out to SKORNorth.com/element. You go to SKORNorth.com/element, and you can get a 15% room rate. You got Cleveland coming to town. There was a bunch of Giants fans that were obviously in town. San Francisco only comes here now every other year. So if you're looking for a place to stay to see Target Field, go to SKORNorth.com/element. It's just steps away from Target Field. Or if you're looking for a little staycation situation, hang out in the North Loop. A lot of breweries, a lot of restaurants, a lot of great places to see. So go to SKORNorth.com/element.
Also, we are just looking to raise some awareness this month on the SKOR North Twins Show for an important cause via the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Suicide affects the construction industry very much, and we can all play a part in raising awareness and helping those who build our communities by hiking on Saturday, May 31st at Legends Crossings at Vikings Lakes in Eagan. Help spread awareness and understanding and send the message that help is available and raise funds for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Join the Construction Hike for Hope by visiting afsp.org/MN Construction. Real quick, I have a quick question kind of going back to like something toward the beginning of the episode, because Trevor mentioned that you probably don't expect Harrison Bader to keep doing this all season. And we had a little bit of a discussion yesterday. Would you consider moving him up in the order? And I guess my thought was kind of like what you said. He's performing right now 200 points above his average OPS from the previous 3 seasons. And he's done it mostly hitting 8th and 9th. So how would you, like, as you're just trying to ride a hot hand, would you consider while he's hot batting him higher in the order, and then when he cools back off, move him down? Or do you just keep him down there in the bottom third of the order and let him rake down there until he cools off?
Yeah, I'm a keep the lineup consistent kind of guy. I think that adds to somebody's, if he's feeling his routine and he's obviously thriving in it, like, why change it up? So that's kind of where I'm at with the lineup in general. Like, there's going to be some times where guys are struggling drastically that you might need to move them off to give them a little bit of a breather, and I'm okay with that. But if you're having success in a certain spot in the order, I would just leave you there.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's how I feel.
I don't know. I would rather capitalize on a guy that's on like a heater right now and bat him 1 or 2, and then like with Buck's just so streaky. Like, I know Buck's been mostly really good this year, but I'd rather if Bader's getting on base like a 390 clip right now, put Bader on, put Buck behind him. Now your 2 fastest guys are potentially batting 1-2.
I guess it's not like he's done that before. He's hit near the top of the lineup before, so it's not some far like fetch thing or something that's really foreign to him. So I think all those things come into consideration, and it's player by player. Some guys just do not want to be moved, and some guys don't care at all. So you really just have to go. If I was Rocco, I'd go talk to him. Say, hey man, like, thinking about moving you up in the order. Like, how do you feel about that? Or are you feeling comfortable in your routine? And just go from there. Because if it is a shock to your system and all of a sudden, you're just kind of out of whack, I think that could throw all of that success off.
Yeah. Do you think Sean McVay would move him up in the order?
Yeah.
Yeah. First, yeah.
Oh
my God. Yeah. What do you even ask him?
Immediately. Hey, did you see the job that Adrian Johnson did behind the plate on Saturday? Can we please stop with some of these guys behind the plate? I know that you don't like to bag on umpires, but
I'm okay with it. Yeah, what do you mean?
Let's bag on him.
Well, then let's go. Rocco Baldelli got tossed and has to write up a check for something he should not have to write a check for. Baseball should call him and apologize and say, Adrian's a buffoon. We're sorry about that. He was terrible behind the plate. But my God, it's 2025, and we have to watch that. And that's a national, or at least a partially on Fox national game. That was an absolute embarrassment.
I've always thought that there needs to be some sort of competency test, and if you don't pass it, you just don't do the plate.
You're right. That's what I keep saying.
That's it. Like, you can umpire the bags.
Yeah.
Especially during the playoffs, I think it's even more apparent. Like, dude, let's not award seniority in these games. Let's award the best. And we can have seniority around the bases, but we're talking about home plate here, which changes the game more than anything. Yeah, we need our best.
Right.
And for example, I was always asked to umpire the Little League 12U championship games when I was 19 and 20. It was me that got the home plate.
Oh, wow.
They loved my home plate strike zone. I didn't
were
like
you tight or are you wide?
Yeah.
I was wide. I was a little wide. They're 12. Swing the damn bat.
Game going.
Yeah, swing the bat. And bases, by the way, I don't know why. I did not enjoy the bases. I thoroughly liked being way more behind the plate.
You really wanted to ring somebody up. What'd you do?
It was a hold on here. I'm gonna
the tornado.
It's like 55 degrees in this space. It was a step back and a strike 3.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
Back.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It was
a reverse punch.
Can I do this? Can I do this here? Can I? Ready? One of those.
Oh god.
Oh, come on.
That's good, man.
So instead of like enunciating the strike 3, it was kind of like grunting.
It was a grunt. Yep.
I like the stab.
Yeah. I didn't like the stab. I like the pull. As you know, classic umpire. I wanted to show myself off a little bit. I like the pull.
But the stab is good for strike 1 and 2, and then you do the pull for strike 3. Yeah. Did you guys see on Sunday? I think it was a Giants batter who got rung up on strike 2.
Yeah, strike 2.
Oh, that's the worst.
And
the umpire lost track. And he rang him up.
The ringing up is great. It's just
after that, you look back at him and say, "You owe me one." You better not call something close.
You just embarrassed me. You're ejected for showing me up.
Don't you use an F-bomb?
I like the two-parter where you like there's guys where they act like they're throwing something up in the air, like and then they turn sideways and.
Okay, a two-parter. Yeah,
the lawnmower pull kind of over here.
A little too much.
Maybe we all should work on our call and come back ready next episode.
The Naked Gun, Leslie Nielsen, like the moonwalking across the.
I feel like Dex has his call down pat. He's not going to move off that call. That's a great call.
Dex, would you ring guys up as the pitch is en route to the plate?
No, I don't. Probably did. I don't know. I was 19, 20 years old, so I
12-year-old starts crying. You're like, you're out of here.
Yeah, I already see that big looping curveball coming in. I'm like, oh, this kid has no shot. We're calling this strike 3.
We had this dad. I'll never forget him. He was like the mean dad. Like he's like way too hard on his son. All those things. And he also umpired sometimes. And his strike 3 call was, "He got you."
No. He got you. Oh, got him.
Got him. Man, look at us. We're not only talking about a red hot team. We're solving umpires. We're making strike 3 calls. We're trying to figure out who's in the Hall of Fame. This is what
watching
you get
football
in a
with
Tuesday.
Sean McVay.
A name drop, and he drops two future Hall of Famers, coach and quarterback.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Thanks, Trev. We appreciate you, man. Go check out Trev's work too with John Boy Media. Go follow him on Twitter and on Instagram. This is the SKOR North Twins Show. Hit that like button and subscribe button. We'll be talking at you guys soon.
Baseball.